Good morning, guys. Today's class is reading skills, and among reading skills, factual questions. Second type of questions here under reading comprehension. Let us know here how to attempt factual questions under reading comprehension. First, here is an example given to you, and see the statement. And according to this one here, okay, with this example, we can do some exercise under this one. Right? So generally what do? They give one paragraph and below the paragraph they give some statements, right? And they ask us here whether the statement is true or false. Is it clear? And here let us know how they confuse us in this one and how these statements given under the paragraph are twisted. Is it clear? That is important, right? Now, read this each passage and the statements that follow. Write true, write T in the space if the statement is true according to the information in the passage. Write F in the space if the statement is false, or if the information is not given in the passage also write false only. Right? Now see this one. Micromegale diblema is a spider that inhabits the coastal forested regions of Panama. It has only 2 eyes, whereas most spiders have 6 or 8. Unlike most spiders, it does not have lungs, but instead absorbs oxygen through its skin, just 3/100ths of an inch long, the size of the head of a pin. Microdiblema is one of the world's smallest spiders. Here, see the first statement. The coastal forested regions of Panama are where one of the world's smallest spiders lives. Right? See how it is here. You see here. The coastal forested regions of Panama are where one of the world's smallest spiders lives. But in the paragraph, what is that? Micromegale diblema is a spider that inhabits. What is that here? Inhabits. Inhabits means that lives only. Is it clear? So here the word is changed. Synonym is used here. Right? Is it clear? It inhabits which area? It inhabits the coastal forested regions of Panama. So, is it clear? Only, okay, some change is there in the wording only, but the meaning is same. That's why this statement is true. So, here he used inhabits, okay, and in this one, here he used it lives, right? Is it clear? Go to the second one. While most spiders have 6 or 8 eyes. 6 or 8 eyes. So, right? And absorbs oxygen through skin. Most spiders have 6 or 8 only. Okay. Most spiders have 6 or 8. Okay. But, unlike most spiders, it does not have lungs, but instead absorbs oxygen through its skin. Which one absorbs oxygen through skin? Micromegale diblema absorbs oxygen through skin, unlike most spiders. Most spiders have lungs. Unlike most spiders, this does not have lungs. Micromegale diblema does not have lungs, unlike most spiders. Most spiders have lungs. Unlike them, this microdiblema has no lungs. It absorbs through oxygen through skin. Here, what is the statement here? While most spiders have 6 or 8 eyes, okay, but do they absorb oxygen through skin? Most spiders absorb oxygen through skin? No. They have lungs. Only this one has a, okay, as that, okay, procedure. It only Macromegaly diploma absorbs oxygen through skin. Most spiders, they have lungs only, right? So this statement is wrong. So up to this one, okay, most spiders have 6 or 8 eyes, okay. Okay, and this one is also okay, but this is wrong. Macrodiploma has no lungs, and most spiders, they don't absorb oxygen through skin. This is also wrong. So just by mixing, just they confuse the reader. If you don't concentrate on those details, definitely we go wrong. Is it clear? The world's smallest spider is the size of the head of the spin. Head of a pin. You see here, we think it is correct only, but you see, is the size of the head of a pin. It is there here. The size of the head of a pin. Macrodiploma is one of the world's smallest spider. Here, it is one of the world's smallest. Here, what did he say? World's smallest spider. So this statement is wrong. Tell me how it is wrong. Okay, in this passage, it is said M. diploma is one of the world's smallest spider. Not it is the smallest, it is one of the smallest. Because there are some smallest spiders. Among them, this is the one. Okay, that is mentioned in this passage. Whereas in the statement, it is said the world's smallest spider. Is it the world's smallest spider? No. It is one of the smallest spiders, but not the not the world's smallest spider. So you must know the difference between the smallest spider and one of the smallest spiders. If I say Mumbai is the biggest city in India, okay, and Mumbai is one of the biggest cities in India, do they mean same? No. Biggest means here no other one is equal to that. One of the biggest means some are equal to, a few are equal to that. So both statements are not same. So that's why third statement is also false. So we have to concentrate on these minute details. Okay, they may just change the structure grammatically, or they use here some synonyms, right? They change the order of words to get a change in the meaning. If you don't concentrate, definitely we go wrong. Okay? Right. Now here, let us go to other one. Next. Yeah, you see here. The plan to join British to the European continent by boring a tunnel under the British Channel between Dover, England and Calais, France was originally proposed in the second half of the 19th century. The bill, second half, that is, yes, the bill authorizing the work was rejected in 1883. The plan was again proposed in 1930 by many enthusiastic supporters. The tunnel was to be here. The tunnel was to be the longest ever made and an engineering wonder. However, the estimated cost, the military risks, and the doubt as to the feasibility of the construction led to the rejection of the proposal in June 1930. Finally, in 1980s, the proposal was accepted and tunneling began. The great engineering feat was completed in 1994, and for the first time, passengers could travel underwater between England and the European mainland. See here. See the statements. First statement. The plan to unite Britain with the European continent was proposed 3 times. Correct? Is it true or false? True. It was proposed 3 times here. One is in 1883. Okay. Not 83. Okay. So in 1880s it was proposed. Isn't it? Second half of the century. First time it was proposed in the second half of the century. Right? Right? Again proposed in 1930. Right? And again here finally in 1980s. 3 times it was proposed. So the statement is true here. The statement is true. Go to the next statement. The plan to unite Britain with the continent was rejected 3 times. Was it rejected 3 times? Third time it was accepted. Here, the proposal was accepted. Third time. Right? So it was rejected 2 times and last time it was accepted. So it is here false. This statement is false. Right? Next. It was believed by some that the tunnel posed a security threat. See that? Is it true or false? Do you find anywhere a security threat? Yeah, you see here a security threat. Here, this is also true. Why? Why it is true? The military risks. Is it clear? The estimated cost, military risks. Military risk is nothing but here security problem only. And doubt as to the feasibility of the construction. These 3 factors led to the rejection of the proposal in June 1930. In 1930, the proposal was rejected due to 3 reasons. One is estimated cost, one is military risks, and another one, there is a doubt regarding the feasibility, means viability of the construction. Right? So, yeah. So this third statement is true. Fourth statement here. Some people did not believe that the tunnel was a viable idea in 1930s. True or false? Did not believe, you see here. Did not believe regarding what? Believe that the tunnel was a viable idea. Viable means profitable, feasible. So, here in this one, doubt means did not believe. Feasibility means viability. Is it clear? They have a doubt regarding its feasibility. Here, they did not believe that the tunnel was viable. Viable means profitable, feasible. So, just by changing these words only, here in the place of doubt they have given did not believe. In the place of feasibility they have given viable idea. Just by giving some synonyms. Okay, meaning will be same, but they change the statement with some synonyms to confuse us. So we should be, as a reader, we should be very careful. Is it clear? We have to understand the statement and think whether it is mentioned or not mentioned in the passage. It may not be directly mentioned. Okay, they may change here some words. Is it clear? They may use some synonyms. They may change the structure. They may change the order of words. Is it clear? Right? So we should concentrate on all this. So now tell me here, is it true or false? True only. Did not believe is doubt. Did not believe on what? The viability of the tunnel. Here the feasibility of the tunnel. Right? So the statement is true. So most of the candidates here think that reading comprehension questions are very easy. Oh, what is there here? Just we can get the answers from the passage only. Right? Of course we get here the answers from the passage. But if you don't hear concentrate on such changes, such synonyms, the change in the word order, the change in the grammatical structure of the statements, we definitely get trapped. Is it clear? Next one. The plan was rejected in 1883 because the people were bored. Is it the people bored? No. Why it was rejected here? People were not bored here. The plan to bore a tunnel. Boring a tunnel is different from people bored. Is it clear? So it is false. Boring a tunnel under the English Channel, is it clear? That was rejected. But people were not bored. It is not mentioned here. So it is false only. The construction of the tunnel led to the rejection of the proposal in 1930. Yeah, check this one. Most of the candidates see here only 50% of the sentence here. Construction of the tunnel here led to the rejection of the proposal in 1930. Seeing this, right, they may think it is correct. It is true, but actually it is false. You see here. So when we read a sentence here, how to have a clarity means first concentrate on the verb here. Concentrate on the verb. Which one led to the rejection? Which one led to the rejection of the proposal? Proposal of what? Proposal of the construction. Which one led to the rejection of the proposal? 3 factors: estimated cost, military risks, and doubt as to the feasibility of the construction. These 3 factors led to the rejection. Feasibility of the construction, and military risks, estimated cost. These 3 led. But here, what is the meaning of this statement? The construction of the tunnel means the tunnel is constructed, and that led to the rejection of the proposal. How? After getting constructed, that construction of the tunnel led to the rejection of the proposal? No, it was not constructed at all. But in this statement here they are saying the construction of the tunnel led. No, the military risks, estimated cost, doubt regarding its feasibility. These 3 factors led to the rejection of the proposal of the construction of the dam in 1930. Right? So, lot of confusion here. That's why here I suggest you don't take here, the sentences in the middle. See what is its verb, which one led to the rejection, and rejection of what? What is the subject? What is the verb? What is the object? Led to the rejection of what? Rejection of the proposal of construction. Yeah, this is the led verb. Rejection of the proposal of construction. Which one led? Estimated cost, risks, and feasibility of the construction. These 3 factors led to the rejection of the proposal of the construction. You have to understand. Right? Yeah. Just by seeing only the structure, don't get misled. See its meaning. Then only you can understand the sentence and know the difference between this statement and the statement in the passage. Don't take here from the middle only. Don't take it like that. So you can't take it here separately. You can take it here doubt as to the feasibility of the construction. These together. Okay. Next, the tunnel made in 1930 was the longest ever constructed. Here also confusion. The tunnel made in 1930. Was it made in 1930? No. Is it clear? Here you see, the tunnel was to be. If it was made, it would become the longest. But it was not made in 1930. If it was made, okay, it was to be the longest ever made. Is it clear? So here, this is also false. So don't get confused here. The tunnel made in 1930. Was it made in 1930? No. Is it clear? That's why it is false. If it was made, it was to be the longest. Right? Next. The predicted expense of the proposed tunnel was prohibitive in 1930. Okay, again here, okay, some change in the synonym. Predicted expense. Predicted expense means estimated cost. Okay, estimated cost of the proposed tunnel was prohibitive in 1930. Yes, this is true. Predicted expense or the estimated cost, both are same, right? Okay, now let us move to the next one. The 50 million year old fossils of an ancient whale found in the Himalayan foothills of Pakistan give strong evidence that modern whales are descended from a four-legged land-dwelling animal. You see this one. They are descended, modern whales are descended from a four-legged land-dwelling animal. Means ancient, okay, fossils here. Ancient whales are land-dwelling, four-legged land-dwelling, ancient. Is it clear? The fossils consist of part of the skull, some teeth, and well-preserved middle ear, right, of an animal that was 6 to 8 feet long, weighed about 350 pounds, had a wolf-like snout, and had 2 foot long jaws with sharp triangular teeth. It is the middle ear that suggests that the ancient whale lived on land. Analysis indicated that the animal had eardrums which would not have worked in water and which modern whales have only in vestigial form. Modern whales have only in vestigial form. Furthermore, the right and left ear bones were not isolated. Right and left ear bones were not isolated from each other. The separation of these bones in marine whales enables them to detect the direction of underwater sounds. Right? Now see the statements and tell me whether the statements are true or false. The 50 million old fossils means ancient whales found in Pakistan are most likely from a followed land-dwelling animal. Most likely from a followed land-dwelling animal only. Yes, the old fossils are land-dwelling animals only. So it is true. Right? The fossils are 6 to 8 feet long and about 350 pounds in weight. You see, it looks like correct only. 6 to 8 feet long and weighed about 350 pounds only. But is it a fossils 6 to 8 feet long or the middle ear? You see, the middle ear of an animal that means, is it animal or a middle ear? Here you should be very careful. That means, is it animal or the middle ear of an animal? So you should always take here as the key word of the phrase. In this one, in this phrase, middle ear of an animal, in this one, what is the keyword? Middle ear only. So that belongs to middle ear only. Middle ear was 6 to 8 feet long. But here, fossils are 6 to 8 feet long in the statement. So this is false. Okay? Next, whale's skull, teeth and middle ear are evidence that the Himalayan foothills were once under water. Himalayan foothills were once under water. So, where do you get here? Skull, teeth, middle ear are the evidence that Himalayan foothills were once under water. Is it clear? See here, middle ear suggests that ancient whale lived on land. You see this one. So this statement here, the middle ear that suggests that ancient whale lived on land. But here in the statement were once under water. So it is false. The statement is false. Right? You see why it is false here? Once under water. Middle ear are the evidence that the Himalayan foothills were once under water. But in the statement, the middle ear suggests that ancient whale lived on land. See, just to confuse you, they play with words, right? Next one. Because eardrums do not function underwater, the ancient whale probably lived on land. Yeah, this may be the reason. Because eardrums do not function underwater. You see here, do not function underwater. Eardrums. Here. Analysis indicated that animal had eardrums which would not have worked in water and which modern whales have only in vestigial form. Yeah, this is true. Right? Even in modern whales also, it is in vestigial form only. In modern whales also, it is in vestigial form. Means vestigial form means not functioning. Vestigial means they don't work, no more useful. Right. Whales with eardrums, you see this one, would not be able to hear well in water. Whales with eardrums would not be able to hear underwater. Would not be able to hear. Why? Eardrums are not functioning in water. They are in vestigial form only. Is it clear? That's why this is true. Even though they have eardrums, those are in vestigial form. That's why they would not be able to hear well in water. Next. A marine whale can recognize the source of a sound because the middle ear is in a vestigial form. When middle ear is in vestigial form, how can it recognize the source of sound? No. Is it clear? So it is also false. When middle ear is in vestigial form, how can it recognize the sound? Right? Marine whale can recognize the source of sound. But what is the reason? Because the middle ear is in the vestigial form? No. Vestigial form is no more useful. Then how can it, you see, marine whales enables them to detect the direction of the sound. How? The separation of these bones. If the eardrums, the left and right ear bones are separated, then it can detect. Otherwise, the eardrums are in vestigial form only, no more useful. So the reason for marine whales to recognize the source of sound, the direction of the underwater currents is not the eardrums in vestigial form, But if the right and left bones are, okay, ear bones are isolated, separated. So this is also false. Right? Next one. When the right and left ear bones are isolated from each other, a whale can detect the direction of underwater sounds. Yes, this is true. Next. Whales with isolated right and left ear bones. Isolated means separated. Bones live in the sea. Sea means marine water. So this is also true. Marine whales means, yeah, whales in sea only. Right? Now let us move to the next one. The potato, which is nutritious and popular, is an important food source for millions of people. It is so important that the destruction of potato crop by pests has resulted in famines. Plant researchers studying the hundreds of varieties of potatoes have uncovered a wild hairy variety of potato from Bolivia that emits a strong glue from the end of its hairs. This glue traps and kills insects. A new hairy potato was developed when researchers successfully crossed the common potato with the hairy potato. This new hybrid potato not only reduces aphid populations by 40 to 60%, but also emits a substance that checks the population of Colorado potato beetle, one of the most destructive potato pests. Unfortunately, the hairs also trap beneficial insects. Plant researchers are currently trying to alleviate this problem by limiting the density of hairs. Clear? Potato, an important food for millions of people, is nutritious and popular. Yeah, here it is nutritious and popular. So it is true. There are hundreds of varieties of potato that are hairy. See here. Don't get confused here. Studying hundreds of the varieties of potatoes have uncovered a wild hairy variety of potato. So how many hairy potatoes? They have uncovered a wild hairy, only one. Studying hundreds of varieties of potatoes. But here in the statements, hundreds of varieties of potatoes are hairy. Hundreds of varieties of potatoes are hairy? No. While studying the hundreds of varieties of potatoes, they have discovered only one wild hairy variety. Hairy variety is only one. They have uncovered only one wild hairy variety, not hundreds. Is it clear? Hundreds of varieties are not hairy. They have uncovered only one wild hairy. So this is also false. This is false. Don't get confused, because just by missing one word, here he mentioned all hundreds of varieties are hairy, but actually in the passage only they uncovered only one hairy variety. Okay, got it. Just with one word here they confuse you. Right? Plant researchers studying a potato from Bolivia that gives off scent from the end of its hairs. Here it gives off a scent. Okay, here this one from Bolivia that emits a strong glue. Glue is some sticky substance. Here the scent is also, it may be sticky substance. Is it clear? From the end of its hairs, so that it attracts insects and insects get trapped in that one. Is it clear? This glue traps, right? The scent also attracts and traps. So instead of a scent, he has given globe, but meaning is same here, right? So true. Next, insects get trapped in the sticky hairs and die. So true. Next, the hairy potato was crossed with the common potato to develop a new hairy potato. Yes, you see here, what is it? This new hairy potato was developed. Okay, to develop a new hairy potato. You see, it is in passive voice. When researchers successfully crossed the common potato with the hairy potato. Common potato with the hairy potato. Crossed common potato with a hairy potato. Is it clear? Here also? What is that? The hairy potato was crossed with the common potato to develop the new potato. Is it clear? Only this statement is given in the active voice, whereas in the passage here it is in passive voice. So sometimes this is true, right? Sometimes here there will be change in the sentence structure. Here you see a new hairy potato was developed. Here to develop a new hairy potato. Okay, when crossed the common potato with hairy potato. You see here. What is that? Hairy potato was crossed with the common potato. Just changing the structure, changing the word order. So, meaning is same. Right? All insect populations have been reduced to 40 to 60%. Here, aphid populations not only reduces aphid populations means insects only. We don't get into the details of that geology specific. Aphid is one part of. So let us see this one. All insect populations have been reduced by 40 to 60%. So here also you can see it reduces aphid populations by 40 to 60%. Aphid populations means insect populations. It is a general term. Actually, aphid is a particular species of insects, but here you can take it as common term. So these aphid populations are reduced by 40 to 60%. So this is true only. Don't take it as in the geological term. Just aphid population means insect population only. Right? Next one. The Colorado potato beetle is one of the pests affected by the substance the hairy potato emits. Yes. The Colorado potato. Where is it here? Okay. But also emits the substance. That checks and controls the population of the Colorado potato beetle. So this is also true. Next. The hybrid potato harms insects that help potatoes. Yes. You see here, unfortunately, the hairs also trap beneficial insects. So this is true. Right? Now let us move to the next one. Right. Read this paragraph and complete the following. A Stradivarius violin is unmatched in tonal quality and responds more quickly and easily to touch than any other violin. Unfortunately, the secrets for making such a super instrument were lost. The secrets for making were lost in 1734 with the death of Antonio Stradivari, the master craftsman who built them. Many attempts have been made to reproduce an instrument of such quality, but all have failed. It is believed here that the secret lies in the wood that was used and the distinctive varnish which ranges from orange to deep reddish brown color. Only around 650 Stradivarius violins are believed to be in existence today. And the average price of such a rare instrument is well into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Even a cheap Stradivarius consists around $250,000. It is not surprising that the Stradivarius violins are sought after by great violinists and musical instrument collectors alike. Now read the statements. A Stradivarius violin cannot match the tonal quality of any other violin. Cannot match. What do you say? First sentence here. The Stradivarius violin is unmatched in tonal quality and response. Right? Do you think cannot match and unmatched is same? The violin is unmatched means unmatched. Is it clear? Unmatched means no one is equal to this Stradivarius. Means it is superior. It is unmatched. Means it is superior. It cannot match means it is inferior. God, there is a change in the meaning. So if I say you are unmatched, means you are super. You cannot match me, means you are lower to me. Is it clear? So cannot match means you are inferior. I cannot match you means you are super, I am okay. I cannot match you means I am inferior to you. So is it clear? I am unmatched means I am super. So you must know the difference in the meaning between unmatched and cannot match. Unmatched means super, the most super. Cannot match means it is very inferior. So the statement is false. See here, if you don't concentrate on these small changes, definitely we go wrong. Next, the main qualities of the Stradivarius are tone and response. Yes, they are unmatched in tonal quality and response. So it is true. Antonio Stradivari was the man who crafted the violins. Yeah, this is also true because here Antonio Stradivari, the master craftsman, he is the master craftsman who built them. Them means Stradivarius violins only. So it is true. Stradivarius notes on making such a super instrument were preserved. Were they preserved? No. The secrets were lost only. The secrets were lost with the death of Antonio Stradivari. Is it clear? They were not preserved. So it is false. Right? Next one. Go to the next one. People believe that quality comes from the type of wood and the color of the varnish that was used. Yes. What is it? The secret lies in the wood that was used and the distinctive varnish. The secret of the quality of the violin lies in the wood and the wood that was used and the distinctive means the different is the special varnish. Is it clear? So this is also true. Next one. The varnish color ranges between orange and a deep reddish brown. You see here. The varnish which ranges from orange to deep reddish brown. Is it clear? So this is true. Next one. 650 Stradivarian violins in existence cost $250,000. But here what is that? Even a cheap Stradivarius, cost of one cheap Stradivarius costs around $250,000. Here 50 violins cost, but in the passage here, one cheap Stradivarius, cost of only one violin. So the statement is false. Don't get confused here. The cost of even a cheap Stradivarius costs around $250,000. Cost of one cheap violin, Stradivarius violin. But in here, he said 650. So the statement is false. Next, both musicians and instrument collectors would like to own. Means here in the passage, you see, it is not surprising that Stradivarius violins are sought after. By sought after means like to own. So this is true. Right? Here, now let us move to the last one. Last passage here. The most traditional food may well be cornmeal. Cornmeal, as we know it today, began as a Native American staple. The Native Americans grew corn of 6 different varieties: black, red, white, yellow, blue, and multicolored. Multicolored is one more color. They ground the corn kernels into cornmeal and mixed it with salt and water. Then they baked it. The recipe was introduced to early colonists who experimented with it and developed their own uses for cornmeal. Succotash, a meat stew with cornmeal added, and mush, here leftover cornmeal porridge, cooled, cut and fried, are 2 meals invented by early colonists. Today, visitors can travel to the south and enjoy spoon bread, a smooth pudding-like dish, or to New England for Johnny cakes, a kind of flat pancake. But probably the most common recipes using cornmeal nationwide are cornbread, cornmeal muffins, and the hush puppy, a round ball of cornmeal batter that is fried in oil. A round ball of cornmeal batter that is fried in oil. Now here I read the statements. The multicolored corn was made up of 6 different colors. Yes, true. Cornmeal was ground into kernels. Cornmeal into kernels that were baked. Cornmeal were ground into kernels. Here see the sentence. Kernels into cornmeal, not cornmeal into kernels. Not cornmeal into kernels. Kernels into cornmeal. So, here cornmeal ground into kernels. Which was ground into kernels? Cornmeal ground into kernels here. But actually kernels are ground into cornmeal. So this statement is false. See how they play here, right? Next one. The Native Americans shared their recipe of baked cornmeal with the early settlers. The Native Americans shared their recipe. Native Americans means early colonists. The recipe was introduced to early colonists. Oh, early colonists, yes. The Native Americans, the local people, shared their recipe of baked cornmeal with the early settlers. Early settlers means early colonists. Yes, this is true. Next. The colonists did not like the meal of Native Americans, thus developed their own meals. Here it is not mentioned whether they liked it or not here. When they liked only, they developed their own. Actually, there is no clarity. They did not like the meal of Native Americans. So it is not mentioned. So it is false. When it is not mentioned also, you can go with false only. Right. Sakatosh and mush are two meals the colonists shared with Native Americans. Sakatosh and mush. Two meals the colonists shared with Native Americans. Did they share with the Native Americans? Yeah. Are two meals invented by early colonists. They invented, but whether they shared it or not here, it is not mentioned. Is it clear? Right? It is also not clear. Shared or not here, okay, it is not mentioned, so it is false. It is not given. Next one. Sakatosh is a meal that is made from meat and cornmeal. Sakatosh here. Okay. Cornmeal. Meat with cornmeal. Yes, true. Mush is fried leftovers from a cornmeal dish. True. Right? Next one. Common forms of cornmeal are restricted to certain regions. Common forms of restricted to, no, those are nationwide. Okay? The common recipes are nationwide. Those are not restricted. So it is false. Okay guys, here how the statements just are twisted here in the form of structure or in the word order. Is it clear? Or just by using synonyms, they just try to, okay, trap you. Is it clear? So we think that, okay, those are given here directly in the paragraph only and we can trace out directly. Yes, we can trace out. But don't think those statements are exact statements, okay, of the passage. Is it clear? These statements are changed, rephrased, restructured. That's why if you don't concentrate on those changes, small changes, unmatched, cannot match. Is it clear? Cornmeal into kennel. But actually in the passage, kennel into cornmeal. So just words will be same, but their positions are changed. Is it clear? So if you don't concentrate here, immediately we will be trapped and there is a chance of going wrong. Right? Okay guys, so let us stop this one for today and we can continue here with inferential questions in the next class. Thank you guys.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.